fries to go. Listen to what I said. I need something more than soup to keep me satisfied. Give me food, that's what I want. Bolognese all through the days, can't wait to the mayonnaise. Give me food, that's what I want. A chicken curry, bring it here in a hurry. It's food that I want.
That's plenty.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Pirate King Kitchen. As you notice, we may have a few differences today since the stream fell over more times than Tracy at the Gin Festival. So today, very special, we have a guest. Do the panning thing.
Hey!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the always wonderful Sharon Webb. She's going to be our guest today, and there's a very special reason why she's here. Her husband is an Englishman, and I don't know, that's not the reason you're here. Sharon is in a heatless marriage, I think it's fair to say. Yeah. It's tough, and we need to discuss these things openly in lockdown. So, the qualifier being Dave's better half, Sharon. Dave doesn't like heat, spice, curry, chilies. I think it's fair to say we kill him.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So let's have a go at that today.
Qualifier on that. It's not that he doesn't like them; they don't like him.
Okay. So you see, your opportunity for spicy food is limited to 0. I think we all went to the Prinoa.
Yeah.
Once.
Kano.
We went Koino. We probably named about 12 different Indian restaurants.
Yeah. Glasgow.
So, like I said when we done Mexican week, I'm by no means Indian. So this is kind of our take. I've tried to be as authentic as possible, but we're going to do 3 curries today. We're going to do one with lots of spice, a Rogan Josh-esque curry. We're going to do a biryani, which is rice-based. We're going to do a lamb mince, and we're going to do a korma. The reason we're doing a korma is last time I made korma, I made it properly, and then my wife complained that coriander in it. So we're doing a corianderless korma. So that's the plan for today. We got anybody with us, Kales?
No, this is anything.
Nobody?
No.
Is anybody watching at all, or will we shut it all up and go to Burger King?
No, some people watching, yeah.
Okie dokie, I just want to make sure it's working. That I've made all those bold claims. Right, so let's turn some stuff on. So how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
How has lockdown been treating you?
Bit stuff crazy. So happy to be out, it's terrifying. Not my biggest excitement because I'm working from home is like put the rounds out once a week.
Yeah, no, that is something to look forward to.
Yeah. We actually fight over it now.
I'm sure Dave's been an absolute delight locked in the house with you.
To be fair, we're locked in separate rooms, so it's okay.
That's a start. Okie dokie, so we are all ahead?
Yep.
So, big pan. What we have here is the failure to communicate. It's not going to work out what it is underneath. So, what we have here is some whole spices. Basis of Indian cooking, very much, it's all the same spices, more or less. The kind of palette of flavours. There's a lot of tomato puree, ghee, which is clarified butter, garlic and ginger paste, and yogurt. The way you get different types of curries, how you cook them, what you do to the spices. The majority of spices, not this one.
I could actually just take a spoonful of that and love garlic and ginger.
So the ones we're going to be using today, just to give you an idea of how those spices break down, these 3 little tubs. So the Rogan Josh, which is the one we're going to do just now, has 2 spice packets kind of to it. So we've got bay leaves, cinnamon stick, green cardamom, black cardamom, coriander seeds, star anise, cloves, and a cashmere chili. I think that's all that's in there. Once we've cooked through our chicken, which is what we're doing, we'll be adding that to it. So that's some more. This is our heat. If you like, this is what's going to make it a spicier curry. Dave, look away, look away. Couple more cashmere chilies. 2 very different dried chilies. You can see them with the colour. You're getting that on the overhead. So the red is a cashmere curry, a cashmere chili. The browner one is a smoked ancho chili, which is not Indian, which is private thing. I just like the flavour of that, and we've also got some red chili flakes. When we make our biryani, it's essentially the same spice blend, but no chili, and we'll come to that later. We'll get these out of the way because I want to get the spices on and toasting. Another thing you'll notice with curries is it always seems as if curry sauce is split. There's always that oil on the top. That oil's meant to be there because that's all the flavoured oil released, and that's what you might eat your rice and your bread and all that good stuff. We might make some naan. Well, we might finish some naan bread. So a good amount of oil in that pan to start us off. And we're going to take our whole spices, put them in our oil, and we're going to let them pop and fast away. Any comments or?
So Karen clearly says we are here.
Fantastic.
Louise Bathgate said afternoon trips, and Tracy Murphy said hi.
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 My wooden spoons seem not to be here. I know that might entirely be my fault. I get my wooden spoons. So we're just going to toast these off for a few seconds. You'll start to hear them pop and crack and all that. At that point, we're going to put in a load of onions. A lot of Indian curries start off with a reduced onion base. And by reduced onion base, you put them in, cook them down until they're very well coloured and you've kind of extracted all the flavour. Oh, sorry, all the water out of that. So, once my wooden spoons, I'll put that hand motion
The
right.
flat one is in there.
It's in here somewhere. That's a spatula, it's not a spoon.
Yeah.
My wife's cooking training is coming along well. So we've just got our spices in there, we're just basically toasting them, bringing them out in that oil. Some wine, have you got some wine?
I do have a little bit of fizzy stuff.
Cheers.
See,
So-
this is what you miss by watching it.
The smell.
The smell.
Yes, well, we do our best with Tracy, but we try and cover it first. So, I know we've just recently celebrated Mother's Day, we've done that last week. But you've just recently become a grandfather.
I have. But
How's
not
that
recently,
work?
she's a year old now. And I may be biased, but I think she's the most beautiful, intelligent, wonderful child that anyone could ever wish for.
There we go. And the name of this wonderful, beautiful, intelligent child?
It's Sasha. Sasha's dropping in red.
Hello, Tasha, if you're watching. Tasha would be watching, but we'll take a look anyway. So we're just going to put our onions in here.
She was watching you last week. So she was with me last week. And we were watching you.
So I think it might be a close run thing between Tasha and Alejandro as to our youngest fan. I think
Alessandro's older than Sasha.
we've got one of the guys I used to work with in Newcastle. His wee boy watches well, and she's pretty young as well. So we've got our next generation of pirates. So we're going to tell people how we know each other and why you're sitting in that. Well, you know why you're sitting in that seat. How do we know each other?
Well, we first met over email because we were thinking of going Clyde Valley, and My
We might
husband,
get demonetized for swearing.
my husband even tried to try and fight the God, you do it, you do it. So logistics officer here emailed a person, and that person turned out to be you.
But you'd met one of the pirate crew prior to that, unbeknownst.
Unbeknownst to me, because in the local hairdresser, there were the wife and the daughter who were saying, she must be a biker, she's got a Harley t-shirt on, she must be a biker. But they didn't have the guts to come up and talk to me.
They are
So-
quite shy and retiring.
Yeah, I've noticed that over the years, Peter. My next hairdressing appointment, I was telling the hairdresser about meeting you and the fact that we found out we lived round the corner from each other and what have you. And she's like, oh, you'll never believe that. Tracy Murphy was my next customer. So she came in and I walked over and sat down beside her and introduced myself. And that was it. The following Friday, we went out to a ladies' apartment night together. My first one, her first one for a lot of years, and became fast friends from basically from sitting in the hairdressers.
Yeah.
And we've hardly been apart since. And then of course I dragged her back into the biking world, which I don't know if you've quite forgiven me for yet.
I'm getting there. It has its moments.
And I don't know if Kaylee's forgiven me for taking her seat away
Well, that
from
was
her,
it.
giving it to her mother.
When back in the good old days, we started biking. I had a road king, and me and Tracy would kind of go everywhere. And then got pregnant with Kaylee, and kind of took a back seat from all that. So basically, just dump the onions in there. Got another pan here. I'm just going to do exactly the same. I'm going to start biryani at the same time. So herbs and spices in, exactly the same herbs and spices and chili. Yeah. So after that, Tracy kind of fell away from bike, got rid of the road king, got the fat boy. At that point, we did the tiny Kaylee, who always wanted to go on the bike, put off as long as we could. So she used to be my pillion when we went to bike stuff. And then obviously Tracy said, "Go back in with yourself," and get introduced to the ladies in the club, and then introduced to other clubs. So she started to, maybe back on the bike. So which point Fat Boy was pinned, and we got the glide. So I think Tracy met Dave before I did, didn't she?
I met Sharon Day before, yeah.
Yeah,
Sharon
no, as I say,
met
both of you
Yeah.
met Dave.
No, I
you
didn't.
kind of staggered into Dave's house drunk one
I
night.
met Sharon first.
No, but you met
Yes, I
Dave.
did.
No, he didn't.
You met Dave before I did, because you
No.
staggered into the house drunk.
Right.
Okay.
No,
We came to
a big night.
about 9, and that's where I actually physically met
That's
you
right, I meant I.
and Kaylee. And Kaylee said to me, "Whereabouts do you live?" And I said, "I didn't stand." She's like, I knew your face. And then she told me about the hairdresser, which led on to me talking to my hairdresser, which led me to actually meet Tracy.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Kaylee.
Yeah.
I owe you one.
So, I know that looks a bit like rinse and repeat, but we have finely diced onions, which are going to go into our biryani mix. So,
Finish Scotland.
when you're not lusting after curry,
Yeah.
what do you like to eat? What's your normal? Well, if somebody goes, you can have anything to eat in the world. What's your favourite type of food?
Probably Italian food. I love pasta. I just love the mixtures that they come up with. Pretty much, apart from fish, as you know, I will eat pretty much everything. And even the fish, I tried every kind of fish in front of me. And the only thing I found that didn't taste like fish was catfish.
If you guys have done Route 66,
Yeah.
so was that where you tried the catfish?
No, that was we did Route 66 prior to getting our first carvery. That was
Right.
so good. That's back in 2015.
But you did ride it on a Harley, you done the rental
Yeah.
thing? Good.
And that was prior to that we had the Suzuki Bandit,
Okay.
which quite happy with. And the Harley was always, since I was young, I love bikes. And the Harley was the Rolls Royce of bikes to me. So after we did Route 66, obviously there was a hiatus in our life because of James being ill. Once we felt a bit better, we went in, we were going down south to meet people who got Route 66 with from New Year. And we thought, oh, it'd be nice to get them a t-shirt from Glasgow shop. You know, the Glasgow.
That's when it was up in North Street.
Yeah, when we were still up North Street. So we went in to buy 3 t-shirts, came out with 3 t-shirts, and a belt. So,
And that was the
that,
Heritage.
yeah, the Softail, which I absolutely adore. Absolutely love that ride, and was quite upset when we changed it. I have to be honest. I just told the technique to keep that one as well, but it just wasn't practical. So we did Route 66 then, and then 3 years, 3 years, oh god, 4 years later, we also did what they call the Music and Mountains tour,
Okay.
and that's like the southern states. So we were down in New Orleans, Louisiana, all that kind of area. And that's where they had catfish one night. And as usual, I'm like, okay, let me try it. And it didn't taste like that. All fish, to me, see me walk by a fish shop, that smell, that's what it tastes like to me, regardless of what it is. I couldn't do a blind taste test because it all tastes the exact same. But that one didn't. It tasted of whatever it was cooked in and what have you. So I was quite shocked at that, but they love everything to do in Scotland. Catfish isn't really something you trip across every day.
Catfish is basically baby sharks, same family. So, a few sharks picking a bit more than so, I'm just going to add in, this is another one of the sort of Holy Trinity. Most cuisines have trinities. Talking about New Orleans, they have their celery, red peppers and onions. Italian cooking, it's tomatoes, oregano and onions. So this is one of the sort of Indian trinities. Garlic and chili paste, and basically equal parts garlic, fresh garlic and fresh ginger. Peel at the back of the spoon, turn it in a blitzer, a couple of spoonfuls of water just to get it moving, and you end up with this. So we're going to put a couple of good spoonfuls into our Rogan Josh mix. I put some ghee in as well while you were chatting away and to disrupt your flow. Ghee is basically clarified butter. It's butter with all the protein, all the stuff that would burn, kind of taken out of it. So when you put garlic or any aromatic in, you're just basically cooking it until that raw smell goes away. When you can smell it, it's cooked. So if you can't smell it, it's still raw, and you'll get that kind of garlicky, overly garlicky taste. Any comments?
JD Rockefeller says, good day from Florida.
So I know JD because when I used to go over the States for the bike. I think you should be, are you knee deep or just finishing up bike week? He says waiting in the satellite delay. So JD and Rocky used to have a bar and used Samara Beach, Edgewater. And that's kind of where we all kind of hung out, and it was great bar, great people, great hospitality. So still tunes in. The idea from last week, lemon pepper wings, were basically from the ones I used to eat, and you know me, I like the chicken wings.
I mean,
And I literally used to eat them in a bucket there.
my mind was not enough meat on a second wing.
That's why you need to eat lots of them.
Right. That's where I'm going wrong.
A war of attrition. You can't let the wings win. So other pan, this will bleep. Basically we're doing the same, we're getting a bit more colour on the onions.
Oh my God,
Same
that's
here.
really so good.
Can you put that back under the camera for me? Is that right?
Oh, Nibbles was a bit slow with it. Okay, we're 7 minutes in now and the stream hasn't fallen over. Stop bleeping, you got your pan back. Okay, so we're now taking our first batch of onions in our Rogan Josh. I'd like to put a bit more colour on them, so we need to tap about and talk about something else.
What would you like to talk
What will we
about?
talk about?
I've got a question.
Oh, we have a question.
How do you feel like lockdown's been difficult for you, or would you say you've been all right with it?
I've struggled with it. I've suffered with depression in the past. Going out and about picks me up.
Mhm.
So being shut down, not being able to see my friends, not being able to get a hug
Yeah.
from people, that has really got to me. But like everything else, suck it up, buttercup, it will be over.
Yeah.
So I've had my first vaccine.
That's what I was actually going to ask you.
Yeah.
How was it? How was the experience? For those of us who have not had it yet, can
Absolutely.
you walk us through to
Honestly,
put people at ease? Where did you go? How did it happen?
I went to Bellhill, to what used to be the Bellhill Bar. It's now
I've
the
done that with them.
thank you so much
Summer.
last week.
The house that SWA built. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Sorry.
From the minute you walk in to the minute you walk out, it is so well laid out. You go in, they take your temperature, which a woman of a certain age that gets rather warm at times, I'm quite put off by that, but I will say. You go in and you sit at the desk and you show them your letter so that they can take the details. You get up from that seat, they instantly sanitise that seat and table. You move to the next bit where they ask you the questions, are you allergic to anything? Are you pregnant? Are you? Which they are medical details because there's no room at the end. Again, you get up, you sanitise everything where you start, table. You go in and the lady again asks you a couple of questions, Need a line your arm, she asks you the preference, I'm right-handed, so I said left-hand side. We warn you, you might get a headache, you might have a sore arm, they tell you anything that can go wrong, they tell you if you're panicking about anything, what to do, who to contact. That really to line my arm. I mean, for somebody comes in package, I'm quite careful. I know it's ridiculous, right? As long as I don't see the needles in, I'm fine. I literally turned my head and it was done. Never felt that. Next day, I had a bit of a in my arm. It wasn't sore, I could just feel it. But I had a bit of a headache that day. But I went to my bed for half an hour. That was it, chocolate ribbon.
So, did you get the AstraZeneca or Pfizer
It
or
was the
Pfizer.
Pfizer.
Pfizer?
Yeah.
Okay, so
He got the AstraZeneca and his mother got she got the Pfizer as well because his mother's nearly 90 and she took a lot of tripper. You wouldn't even.
That's it.
Prick a needle next time.
Are you not entertained? So, little quick update on our onion activities. So these are basically been cooked at the same time. Same spices, very different look to them.
Yeah.
So these were cut long and thin. Okay, great. So what we'll try to do is draw the water out. Large chopper, they draw the water out, get them kind of nice and jammy and sweet. These are cut fine dice, so we want a bit more colour on these because these are going to ultimately go into a rice dish. So you want that flavour to come out of the meat and into the rice. Whereas this one you want to kind of keep folding the flavour back in itself. You got shots on that, Kels? Fantastic. Any comments, questions from the...
No. Sorry.
But have
You-
you scared to ask me
Quiet
anything?
or not?
Quiet.
Yeah, if you've got any questions for our guests, do you want to stick on the little t-shirt bumper? We can do bumpers again. We'd love a bumper.
Oh, there's
So the bumper wasn't long enough for me to film the wine, but what to try. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add our protein of choice. So we've got 4 chicken thighs cut in 1-inch pieces. That's going to go into our Rogan Josh. The reason I'm using them for the Rogan Josh is, or over chicken breast. You can make the sauce separately and serve it over a cooked chicken breast. That's fine. The best way to enjoy it, curry's not a thing. Curry just means sauce or gravy.
Yeah.
Rogan Josh just means red juice. So, thighs, because they have a little bit more fat, they will handle being cooked longer better than chicken breast would. So, we're just going to pop these in here. And into our biryani mix, we are going to add about 500 grams. I think that's off in one go. I've been quite confident with protein at this. You go, yes, yogurt. That's not yogurt, that's coconut cream. Yogurt's over there. So basically putting our mince into that other onion dish, which will make up our biryani. And again, lamb's a bit fattier, it's a richer meat. So we're trying to cool the oil out of it and pull the juice out of it, because that'll then go into the rice, because you're making that all in one dish. We just need to brown our meat through daily. A bit of
Right,
ducking again.
Louise has asked Sharon, what is your favourite curry?
Such a traditionalist with chicken tikka.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
I like chicken tikka Thursday.
Yes.
That's
That's
my
it.
favourite.
But just even with chicken and a sandwich or yeah, that's my favorite.
So into this, now that we've got our whole spices, we've got our onions, we're starting to cook our chicken out. We're not trying to brown our chicken as you would with a normal stew. You're just cooking it in the juices of the...
See, I've never understood that.
Oh.
Browning the chicken breast.
Yeah.
Because it goes fine.
Yeah, don't brown chicken breast. You cook chicken breast.
Mm-hmm.
And the browning is basically, it's the Maillard reaction on the outside, which is caramelisation of sugar. You should be browning it if it's got skin on it, you want to crisp the skin. Maillard reaction is basically caramelising the outside. You do it with steaks, usually larger pieces of meat or even stew, beef, thing you're going to cook for a long time. And it basically seals it in, keeps it shape, and keeps all the juices inside the meat.
Okay, I get it with steak because it tends to go brown.
Yeah.
But you put chicken in a pan, it goes white, it doesn't go brown. I've never understood why they keep brown off the chicken.
You're putting too much chicken in your pan at one time, you're boiling your chicken.
Ah.
Small amount of batches, and then you have to get the colour, and the colour is where the flavour is.
Brown. That's a good question.
That's a good question.
That's what it's
Yeah.
confusing.
A lot, you'll see it on, that's why they don't do it on like the cooking shows. Or if they do it, it's a proper chef, not James Martin. They'll cook it in small batches, so that they're getting that meat, hot oil, drop it in, nice crisp on the outside and take it out, let the pan. And instead of what people do, they'll cook a batch, as soon as they take it out, they'll dump another batch in,
Yeah.
let your oil come back up.
Right.
So into that, we are going to add chilli. We want to start cooking our chilli. So I'll look at one more of them. That's not good. By the way. So 3 different types of chilli. And this should immediately
I can
change the
imagine
colour.
my husband actually sweating at the moment just
Yeah.
watching that.
I could actually hear his arse clamping shut.
Yeah.
Okay. So chili's in there. Going to add a little bit of water to that, let it down a little bit. Because what we want to do is take some of that foam, which is the stuff that forms in the bottom of a pan,
Yeah.
and get, because that's all flavour, we want to get all that involved. So you just mix it through, let everybody get to know each other. What we're also going to do is going to add, this is tomato passat. You can use carrot tomatoes, whole tomatoes, or tomato puree and water, just put more water in it. That's probably, put that in here so you can see the bit that's still. So again, we're just going to bring that in. So we're introducing some liquid to cook through our chicken, loosen up our fond on the bottom. So keep moving biryani around. We will get to him in a minute.
Smells absolutely amazing. I can't actually, I swear to God, I'm going to start dribbling in a minute, so please forgive me.
So at this point, we get the actual yogurt. And I'm just going to put a couple, you put your yogurt in a little bit at a time because you essentially don't want it to split. So it's kind of like tempering the yogurt or tempering eggs as you would for a custard. A little bit in. And put it in after you've added your water because that cools everything down. You don't want to kind of drop it into that hot bath.
I waited till it was cooked and just
we will add more yogurt. That's what I'm saying. The thing about curries is layering flavour.
Yeah.
So there are more spices to go in here. There's more yogurt. We'll put some more ghee in it. It's about every time you add heat to something, it changes its state. So there's a little bit of yogurt in there. Essentially what we want to try and do, we've got our oil in there, we've got our butter in there, we've got our yogurt, we want that oil to split, come to the top. So, for the time being, we are going to pull our biryani off, we're going to put that over here for a much lower temperature.
I'm not the only one that picked up. I was trying not to laugh there.
I know.
And I'm going to put a bit more water in
There's
there.
so many things running through my head that I just think, no, you can't say that.
You can. It's
I know
pretty
it.
much, yeah. 20 bun weight. There we go. So nice tight lid in there. You can put that in the oven. If you draw attention to it, people will focus on it, should I say. So we are still working through our biryani. So we've got our onions, our lamb mince, our whole spices. Now what we're going to add to this is what we're going to add to this here. This one. So this is garam masala. You get that off. Basically, see all the stuff we cook in is whole spices. Put that in a coffee mill or a grinder, and it's garam masala. So we've got whole spices. It's flavoured our oil, flavoured our dishes. So this is, we've got some ground garam masala with some turmeric. Very good for you. Good for your blood. Good for your healthy skin. We've got some fennel seed and some coriander seed.
I love coriander. I know Tracy doesn't know that. I do.
The coriander seed and coriander leaf, two very different flavours there. I feel like two. So we got just basically mixing our spices. So you can see that's got a change on the colour.
Yeah.
So then we're going to go back over here. We're going to go to our ginger and garlic. And again, it's about the when you add things. So when we done the Rogan Josh, we added the chili, the garlic and ginger early. With biryani, we're doing it slightly later because we want to just pull all the oil out of the lamb. And a couple of spoonfuls of our
Tomatoey goodness.
tomatoey goodness. Any questions or comments, Kales?
No, I'm just still being very quiet.
I know it's
Crazy.
a little bit painful. Thank God you're here.
Nobody likes me.
I know. I'm sure. I think they're just fixated on,
Oh, that's beautiful food.
well, or the
And I'm gonna eat it. Sorry.
okay, so basically just want to put that on, cook it so take the raw flavour out of spices. See, I'm a lot less messy when I've got guests. Don't know, psychological. So
Maybe I should just sit here all the time when you're cooking.
unfortunately, that seat is the most wanted seat in the house. There's a queue of people to sit there. There are other seats in the green room. You're always welcome. So the next thing I want to ask you about is, in a world where, we were talking about this earlier today, politics, vaccines, the world, and I do appreciate the irony of this, being someone who applies their trade on YouTube and Facebook. Social, you used to work for like a proper newspaper.
Yeah.
But the world is now such that
In fairness,
anybody,
it was the sun, so
you work for a newspaper,
yeah.
but even the Sun, by its very, there's a few things out there on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok that the Sun would have went, really? You've done that?
Yeah.
Oh dear. She done what with an alien? So, from that point of view, everybody with a forum now, you know, I come on and talk shite about cooking and I make food and people eat the food and people don't die. It's a pretty good exchange. There are people out there who have social media, who have YouTube, who are respected or have a degree of credibility, whether that's self-made credibility or whether that's actual, you know, they used to be a famous person and now people think, well, David Icke, perfect example. Ruled the airwaves in the 80s, started talking about aliens, people went, no, you know that. So, how do you think news is portrayed now than, you know, not talking, I'm not going to say back in your day, but so what did you do in the proper, tell us a little bit of what you used to do with newspapers and how it's changed in the last.
Well, in fairness, I wasn't part of the news. I worked in the advertising department, so obviously the adverts are what feeds to the newspaper, right? But people won't buy the newspaper for the adverts, they buy it for the stories. So it's kind of one, they couldn't do it without us, we couldn't do it without them. But I think the problem now is 9 out of 10 stories with newspapers are researched, as opposed to social media where Lee Jeannie up the road is all of a sudden an expert.
Oh yeah.
Because she tripped over one day and saw the light, and she knows all about coronavirus, she knows all about politics. That's what worries me. And there was the young girl that got murdered, Sarah Everard. There was actually a post on Facebook the other day from one of her friends who didn't go to the vigil because she felt it was hijacked by people that had their own agendas and banners to wave. And honestly, I read this post from this girl and my heart absolutely went out to her because she's lost her friend. And when all said and done, all this, you know, all men, and that bloody dame, whatever her name is, all men should be curfewed after 6 p.m. Right, so attacks only happen after 6 p.m. by men. So that's
the people who are likely to carry out those attacks are the proven rule followers. They basically, you're putting all the good guys in the house and letting the bad guys deal with their life.
Yeah, so the whole point of it is that not all men are bad, not all women are good. People are people, there's bad people, there's good people. And poor Sarah is just unlucky to meet a very bad person.
Now, I think we spoke about this last night, the Caroline Flack thing, that was too easily forgotten. There are too many people on social media who have an audience.
And
if you're on social media and you're doing makeup and cooking, obviously once I've done cooking, there's no point in watching anything else. But once you've done that, you know, if you're on to learn a skill or share knowledge or share wisdom, fantastic. If you're going on there to preach, then jog on, mate.
Yeah, I go down to speaker's corner, stand on a box.
So, sorry to interrupt. We have some basmati rice. I cooked this earlier because it's boiling rice. If you don't know how to boil rice, probably not the channel for you, mate. So what we basically took a big pan, a little bit of oil, basically the same whole spice mix that we've used throughout all the dishes. Put that in the pan, rice in, plenty of water, some salt. Cooked it off till it was about 75% done because we're going to finish it off in the oven. And then drained it, and here it is. So the whole spices are still in there. That's part of our biryani. So we just put a layer of rice in there. You'll notice all the oil and all the flavours. This is an incredibly heavy pan.
Yes, it looks it.
I'm emptying all the stuff. It's not getting any lighter. Oh, Jesus. Forearms, man up, Murphy.
I remember looking at Crusoe pans because they're beautiful. And I tried to lift the milk pan and I couldn't get it off the shelf. So I thought, oh, I'll just buy the tin one.
Could I get that pan rinsed out, please? So we're basically going to take our mince and spread it out. So we have a layer of the minciness. Fantastic. And there.
So,
That smells.
Linda Thomas said you forgot to wave to me.
I didn't know you were on, sis. Hi. That's my sister
Okay.
who lives in Poole in Dorset.
Right.
So we're just going to take some more of our rice. Put another.
She'll be raging, by the way. My sister watching this and knowing that I'm going to eat it all. Because her husband wouldn't eat curries neither.
Well, Linda, rewatch the episode when you get a chance. Make them for yourself. And as Mother Teresa once said, fuck them. So the other thing we're going to do on our biryani, see some crispy onions.
It's like lasagna.
Yeah, it's not. You're not a million miles away. So crispy onions on the top. We are also. Earlier in the day, I took some saffron, put some water, and give it a lovely golden colour. We're getting that.
I got that in my head.
We'll take it on the babish.
Yep.
Bit of colour on that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. So basically, just let saffron soak. In the restaurants, some restaurants do, some restaurants don't. They use this food colouring. It's just you basically just going to take that round, because if you look at a biryani, some of the rice is a different colour from the rest. Saffron's particularly expensive, so we want to make sure we get it all out.
I remember actually going on holiday once. Just Dave and I got away for a week. And I said, can I bring you anything back? And you were like, saffron. Bring the saffron.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, saffron is incredibly expensive. And you use it for flavouring sauces, and it's a very subtle flavour, it's very delicious. A lot of the manufacturers, especially in Europe, they save the saffron husks, which are just as good for the colour, but not as much for the flavour. So that's saffron husks.
Alison McCann said, I'm just watching and thinking, thank God I get curry for tonight's dinner. My teeth are watering.
So just basically, your teeth are watering? You don't want to get
That's what it says. My teeth are watering.
So basically, you're just going to stick that in the oven and let it ovenulate.
Aye.
Okay, and as if by magic, pan's back.
We just saw Tracy's face, so we knew it was.
Oh no.
So with this pan,
Camera.
sorry, we don't have to panic. We're starting to do the corner now, so calm down, Mackenzie. So basically, what we have here is an onion. We are going to chop this onion roughly.
Do you cry when you chop onions?
No, the bastards have it coming. With their slightly tangy deliciousness and their little brown skins.
Honest
I'm not
God,
allowed to say that, but anyone do that racist.
I saw like a 2-year-old when I cut onions, except for a top tip for people that cry when they cut onions, because I can actually feel that out, you know. See if you cut onions and stick your tongue out. It stops you crying. You
Does it
look
though?
like a div,
Yep.
but it actually works. I
Yeah,
swear to God,
I've
Peter,
tried-
it
That
actually
message
works.
is not endorsed by Pirate King Kitchen.
I've tried the spoon in my
Yeah,
mouth.
Yeah.
You know, there's-
That
Uh-huh.
message is not endorsed by the Pirate King
And the
Kitchen.
goggles,
That
when you
doesn't
wear
work.
goggles.
Okay, here's the science. The finer you cut an onion, the more acid it releases into the air, the more you will cry. You cut big chunks, it will not make you cry. If you dice it, finely slice it, it's the exposure to the acid, not what the fuck you're doing with the tongue and a spoon.
I swear to God, it works.
It may work for you, psychosomatic. Moving on. 1 onion. Splash of water. 1 spoonful of garlic and ginger mix. Now this is a fantastic noise. Brace yourself, as we all will love this noise on. Alright, so basically we are going to mash this motherfucker. Make a great noise. Okay, we now have onion puree. Cook on.
Looks like the worst milkshake you'll ever taste, doesn't it?
Yep.
Well, my milkshake brought all the boys to the yard. So we are going to take our onion mix, our blend of onions. We have a pan. We go back to our oil.
And what type of oil are we using, Peter?
We're using avocado oil.
And why is that?
Is
I don't think the
watching?
Fergusons are watching. The Fergusons are well, when I say the Fergusons are a special guest next week. Mark is, because Alison's still a shite bag.
Still?
Still a shite bag. So while all that's happening, that's heating up. That's going to go into that once it's heated up. We're going to take our chicken breast. And again, you can do this a bit in advance and give this some extra time, but we're going to take some yogurt. And this is proper yogurt. This is set, full fat yogurt. This is none of your this white stuff with flavour on it, whatever that fish is.
Is it just, it's natural yogurt as opposed to Greek yogurt? Or?
It's not, it's full fat set yogurt. So no spicy, no heat per se. What we do have is some ground cumin, some ground coriander, and some turmeric.
The sun's shining, so it's a bit hard to see it.
We are also going to add into that some Karen salt. And a little bit of black pepper. Fantastic.
What's this you're making now?
I'm making a korma.
Yay!
Yay! So into our smoking hot oil, we are going to put our onion puree. Close your eyes. It mean it. So what we're going to do is basically let that bubble away and cook until we cook a lot of the water out of it.
Oh,
You got a shot on that?
smells amazing.
So that's basically just garlic, ginger.
You can't see it because the sun's so
Onion.
bright. It's just
So- Back in our little tub here. See my spoon. We've got a yogurt and our spice mix, and we're just basically going to coat our chicken. So again, same spices, same techniques, different type of onion, different application of spice. So you're flavouring natural meat. I say you can leave this for. This is great under the grill for non-chili tandoori type thing. Just cook it till you get a bit of colour on it. We're just going to let that cook away. Remove that little soup. So the main thing here is we want all that water out. So we'll check on our Rogan Josh. So that's Rogan Joshing away. Can't see some of the fat separating. Chicken's almost cooked all the way through. I'm going to leave the lid off that now, just let it bubble.
And as if by magic, my glasses change shape.
Yes. Ta-da!
The magic kitchen.
It's behind the scenes.
Howard King Kitchen, happiest place on earth. Don't sue me, Disney lawyers. Any questions or comments? Have we got anybody saying anything this week? Do you like the new format? Do we hate the new format?
No comment.
Okay, good chat.
I must have put people off Twitter.
So, is Fiona watching?
Fiona,
Fiona Dunlop.
don't know.
There was chat so that she may be tuning in.
No idea. It's quiet today.
It is very quiet. Probably after last week where it fell over more times than falling over thing.
I think there's a lot of people watching, but just not a lot of comments.
So-
Watching violently.
Yes.
Maybe they're concentrating on the
Why do you blend onions down?
You want that onion flavour. A lot of Indian curries are based on caramelised onion. Korma is a very smooth dish. So you don't want to have big lumps. You can do it finely sliced. Just obviously done some research for this, and this is how it was meant to be done. So we've all been in lockdown for nearly a year. Birthday party next week. Be ready. What are you going to do once we get a lockdown? What's your hit list?
Get my nails done, get my hair done. I'm trying to lose some weight at the moment. Obviously, that's gone by the by today, but I've been a good girl all week, so I hope. I just want to see my friends. I want to see the people in my life that I've missed.
And Tracy.
Obviously. It's fine. We chat over Zoom, we chat on Facebook Messenger and what have you. It's not the same
No.
as sitting down next to someone and just swapping lies and exaggerations.
Yes, having that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably have nothing to talk about.
It's all about the banter.
Anything, but just even sitting in silence with somebody that you're comfortable with, you know, I just want to be
Normal.
sociable, normal.
Yeah.
So, not that it was a leading question, but apparently, and this is not a paid promotion, there's a place called Boom Bar opening in Glasgow that has the craziest golf, axe throwing,
Oh, it's
and alcohol.
that is so cool.
That is on mine. Fucking
Yes. Yes,
early-
me too.
early.
Actually, did I not tag you guys on it?
I think it was a mutual tagging.
I think I
I
saw
think it was
the
a
axe
consensual mutual tagging.
throwing. I saw the axe throwing.
You hear that, Salmon? Consensual.
Alcohol, axe throwing.
Yeah,
What can go wrong?
apparently you booked your axe throwing before you drink, which I think is taking a lot of the fun out of it. But, you know,
Yeah, I
rules
was
are
going to
rules.
take it down a notch, but hey, well, I get to throw an axe at a wall. I'm fine with that.
So Louise back at Rankin has said, I think it's good having a special guest. Gives another person's perspective of what is happening in the kitchen. How do you apply to be one? And she said, we miss all you
A
guys.
47-page form.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The form, to fill out, there is no application. You know, it's the whole premise of this show, Pirate King Kitchen, was meant to be me sitting down with my friends, interesting friends, as you have been, and as you are, and having a conversation and cooking some food. So when you watch it, you get a little bit of banter, you get a little bit of knowledge, and you know, you have fun. Because I know it's a terrible thing to do these days, because if you have too much fun, then the snowflakes will find you.
Yeah.
Oh, you fuck Doctor Who. And this was the original format. It wasn't meant to be live. It was going to be recorded, so we could chill out and edit out anybody who said and all that kind of stuff. So this is kind of our transition from our, because we're hopefully coming out of lockdown, everybody's getting an injection, all that stuff, good stuff. This is our transition. So in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have some guests in, because we're allowed a couple of people in the garden. We're in the garden's the roof. And this is what the show was meant to be. And it's there is no pro forma to becoming a guest. Come up with something interesting to cook for the audience and for me. I cook a lot of food because I've been married for the best part of 27 years now. And my wife has only recently asked me what that really hot cupboard in the oven, that really hot cupboard in the kitchen is about.
Yeah,
so,
but she knows what the cold one's all
yeah,
about.
she knows what the gin box, as it's called. Other people call it a fridge. In our house, it's the gin box, or the Prosecco box. I have dabbled in Indian food. I actually made a bit of effort this week and learned, or attempted to learn, some more traditional techniques. So you're my guinea pig. I applied the knowledge I had to what I already knew, and hopefully we get something delicious out of it. If there's a food type you haven't done, something I would like to try, and you want to be a guest, drop a message in the comments below. We're not going to fall out everybody. We're not going to say no to anybody, but
Kimchi.
more interesting stuff. Kimchi, I would love to make kimchi, but unfortunately kimchi takes about a month, 2 months to make. I don't think people would stick with the format for that long.
Can I show my ignorance with kimchi?
Kimchi is a pickled, fermented Japanese cabbage dish. Absolutely delicious.
Cabbage. So,
It's spicy.
Nice, yeah.
It's not a deep thing.
You can usually get it in the wee tins, but I would like to obviously have that kind of experience.
So what we
Exactly.
can maybe do 1 week is make some kimchi, jar it, put it away, and then bring it out later in the proceedings. So my onions are just, everything about the onion part of Indian cooking is time. So it takes a lot of time to draw all that water out, so you're just left with that oniony goodness. Would you like a nibble to get you started?
I've never seen no in that.
Never say no to a nibble. I need to speak to my senior vice president in charge of doing stuff. It's just some more of a rice. Can you give that 2.5 minutes in the microwave, please? Because our Rogan Josh is almost there.
Can you smell it over there? Yeah.
So-
Must be you.
Sorry, we give stuff in.
Oh, right, okay. Because that's what drives me to distraction.
Yeah. Having your
So
window
we're
open
gonna
on
see.
a summer's day.
And there's something about onions and garlic cooking that just makes you think, oh, I need to eat.
No, I need a couple of minutes.
I never
Right,
actually realised the different ways you would cook onions. I
have we got any chat from our... Yeah. Well,
onions with
it's
onions.
all about, it's actually the... He's an expert in tell you cooking's an art. These are people that can't cook. Cooking's a science. It's about the application of temperature and how it affects chemicals and structures. Larger surface area, apply more heat, more browning. It's all carbon and... So you can see from where we started, that's a lot more.
Looks like semolina now.
Yeah, so we're just going to keep that going. It should be fairly quick now to take it. And I just basically want a little bit of colour, cook the rawness out of it. We're going to add in our chicken, start cooking our chicken off, drink some more wine. Hit my wine promo. We haven't had this in months. wine. Choice of a new generation. Unfortunately, new generation has chosen Buckfast. So,
Opposed to gin, the choice of that big generation.
see, I would like to like gin, but there's a problem with gin. It tastes like cleaning fluid. It's too. Do you know the main problem with gin? It's not rum. That's the main issue I have with gin.
I get what you're saying, because probably rum for me is that it's not gin. So, yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. It's tricky. I don't know how we can't do it. So onions, you see onions are now going from white to a light caramel.
You put it on your rabbit.
The light caramel, almost taking all the. Looks like baby food now.
Nice.
Yeah, honestly, looks like semolina.
If the baby was eating semolina.
I like semolina.
So we're going to put in our chicken with our yogurt and our spicing. Or so when we say spicing, we're talking flavours here, not heat.
Tasty hot as opposed to burning hot.
There's nothing in here that should make you go, "Oh, that's a bit spicy." It's flavour, cumin, turmeric, all very low key. Thank you very much. I've lost perfectly service on the lid. There we go. Dutch oven. Giggly.
Everyone should have one.
Yeah. So, get my little close. I'm going to go with your first nibble. This is my Gordon Ramsay plate. Tracy stole it from his written. No, this is the same plates that Gordon Ramsay uses in his recipe. So we've got a little bit of our basmati rice, the whole spices in it. You don't like to keep this right away because you get sexy shots of it.
Absolutely.
The painful's not going to be good.
I'm usually right in there.
Yes, tasty, you know.
So this is our Rogan Josh. This is our chicken thighs. At this point, we're going to add a little bit more yogurt. Mix that through. Stop leaping.
Looks amazing.
I'm trying so hard not to sit like that with my cutlery. I am calm.
Yes, it's difficult.
I can wait. Hurry up.
Don't eat these whole spices, these are more for the sexy shots.
Okay, there's nothing worse than getting a cardamom seed and biting into it. You're like, oh my god.
So lemon. With fresh coriander. Fresh parsley.
Just keep Tracy out by actually eating that as well, right?
Banter.
The hamburger's not done yet. A little fresh yogurt on top. That'll be our first dish of today, which we're just going to get some sexy pictures of. I'm going to speak to the production crew now. I have found myself unburdened with wine.
But you have You had a small button.
That looks amazing.
It smells absolutely like wow. Am I safe to move the plate now without you killing me?
Yeah, well played down there.
That's it. I can tell it's burning hot just by looking at it.
I know it's the smoke coming off. It's unbelievable.
Please don't die, please don't die, please don't die.
I can seriously say the sauce with just the rice. Oh my god. I'm not really the person. I like to try every bit individually.
Cool, just
And then
it is
start.
a live show.
Yeah.
I've got work on the Monday, so just
Oh, please.
happy. Is that the spice you've been missing?
So we walk out with food.
Can I just say I wouldn't feed this to anybody else?
No, it's probably just keep it all to yourself.
Just
You should probably take it all home, freeze it, and
take one for the team. I will eat it so that it doesn't upset anybody else.
fantastic.
Oh my
So,
god!
I don't mind.
While our korma is cooking away and our biryani is finishing off, these are partially pre-cooked naans. You get them in any good Indian supermarket, any good Indian shop. What we do this one is in this little dish. I have a couple of spoonfuls of marmalade, which I put in the microwave with just a little bit of water. So I'm going to just tip that out onto there. Move it around the bread. So this is kind of it's a quick and dirty Peshwari naan. Take it from there. A little bit of desiccated coconut. It's not designated coconut, it's desecrated.
My mother always called it desiccated coconut as well.
I'm just going to stick that. We're putting in a pizza oven and go into any oven or pretty much under the grill. While we are in
I've
here,
lost all interest in everybody now. I'm eating.
So can you say that?
while we're in here, we will get our. Yeah, you better hurry up because there was a shit more food coming. And it's going to come quick.
I'll take care of that for you if you want.
I'll share it.
Kales, you want to start on your sexies on that? That's our biryani. Our other naan bread, where we'll go. Shut it. When we'll get all that naan bread out, we're going to take a little bit of our garlic and ginger paste. We're just going to do a garlic naan. We shouldn't take too long. Let's see how our chicken is doing. I know it sounds counterproductive, you spend all that time taking the water out of the onions and water back
I
in.
know.
But so our chicken's cooking away. It'll just take a little bit longer to do its thing. While it's doing its thing, we're going to add in some coconut cream, some coconut milk. And put some coriander. No. Coriander. What we are going to put in is some more desiccated coconut. Have they ripped that plate away from you before you actually finished
I'm
it?
trying to get that thing on.
We'll put some more
See?
desiccated coconut in.
I just kind of felt these daggers while I was eating it. And I
Stop
thought,
eating
I
the
don't
food.
know, to stop eating. There's more
And
daggers.
what we have here is some soft dried apricots.
Oh, I love apricots.
Resignation will be handed in tonight. Can you push that forward just a wee bit? Not yours, because that's hot. It's just coming out of the oven. No. It's you.
Have you had your photographs of that?
Yes.
Okay, so what I want to do is just show everybody the final form of this. And if I had some sort of spoon, that would probably help.
What kind of spoon you looking?
This one. So as you go through here, you have your meats, your rice, and everything's in there. So put your little plate together, don't panic. This is probably okay for you as well, Dave, but not a lot of spice in this.
Do you need a spoon?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Obviously, just to maybe back to the not like to eat alone. Because people are giving me daggers.
I'm sure you'll be allowed to revisit it. What we are going to take is a little bit of our ghee. Just get that on the top. A little bit fast, I don't need them. I've got yogurt on the side. I'm going to help with that, aren't I?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of lemon juice. Take the lemon seed out. I've got biryani. Do you want to get a...
Yeah. Can you just put it down there?
So, Rogan Josh, on a heat level 1 to 10, where would you put that?
Absolutely bloody perfect. It's hot enough without making your taste buds disappear.
Mhm.
So I don't get people that eat, oh, I can eat the hottest chili in the world. What's the point?
Why?
Because you
Mark
can't taste
Ferguson.
anything.
All the people out there who take the hot chili in the world and rub it in their eyes. Alison Ferguson.
Ferguson,
Mark
where are you?
Ferguson.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Fergusons. Not good with chilies. So, would you say 5 or 6? 7?
I would say a good six
Six.
and a half.
So the thing about spice and about heat is the more you cook it, the more you incorporate it in your fats and all that, the more you get the flavour and the less you get the heat. So can I go into the biryani? That is the smallest amount of it.
There's a pit you missed earlier.
Let me just deal with that. Lucky to throw over your shoulder. Well, if you'll bite it and bring your teeth in, that's
She's
lucky,
like
isn't
me,
it?
isn't she? She finds the
No, nobody's like you, Tracy. No, nobody.
No, yes.
So, can I say, I don't like biryani.
Okay,
I always found it a bit.
good to know now.
Yeah.
Fantastic update.
No, sorry. I'm a born again biryani eater. This is absolutely bloody delicious. You could eat this, Dave.
Peter, I have a question.
David, what's the question?
Many Indian restaurants that I've visited pre
Lockdown.
Again?
2015.
What?
pre 2015,
Yeah.
where I could eat Indian food. A lot of restaurants serve biryani with like eggs, pineapple, banana.
So biryani's, there's a lot of things that British people take as the final word. Korma. Oh, yeah, korma for the wife. There are a dozen. The korma that we're doing today is more Ceylonese korma because it's got the fruit in it. Put some cashew nuts in there as well. You know, that's the type of the korma. You can also add pineapple to it. You know, that's, you go away from Kashmiri curry and you come Ceylonese korma. There's all these different variants. Kormas and curries and biryanis are just, it's like stew. And, you know, it's just descriptors for spices. And again, restaurants, I'm not having a go at restaurants because I know a few Indian chefs and they are exceptional chefs. But you can cook the best food in the world. If it's not what your customer, because that's their business, it's not what your customer wants to eat, you won't sell anything, you won't be busy, your business will shut down. So a lot of traditional Indian recipes have been tailored and changed to make British food. And unfortunately, a large percentage of that market is to the Friday night, let's go for a curry, vindaloo, vindaloo. That is not traditional Indian cuisine. What I've tried to do here is I've followed recipes that from Indian chefs who cook this and people who want to have a biryani or want to have a Rogan Josh or want to have a korma. Because if you go to the town and it's not a decry on the chefs cooking the food because they're incredibly skilled people, as are Chinese and
Yeah, but they have to
chefs.
please their
But you
audience.
have to, you know, it's all about, oh, it's fucking hot, oh, the chilies, oh, the chilies, oh, the chilies. Okay, so having all the chilies, tell me about the black cardamom. We have no idea about the black cardamom. And that is a major contributor to the flavours and the garam masala and all that stuff. So, as far as kormas go, the adding of pineapple or fruit or apricot, it's very regional. And it's also down to what sells in their shop. Because we go to a restaurant, Casey orders a korma, and it's got apricots in it. She'll go, I like apricots. She'll go to another place and go, it's got pineapple in it, I like pineapple, or whatever. She'll go, oh, I didn't like your korma. With all due respect to my wife, fuck all wrong with the korma. It's just not to your, not what you think the korma is.
Yeah.
Vindaloo in Madras. Madras is an area of India. It's not a dish. These things don't exist in Indian cooking. You know, it's just, these are dishes that, you know, because the people that open the restaurants late at night to that post-pub type of customer, you know, oh, how hot's that one, mate? There's a fantastic, I think the Comic Relief sketch many years ago. It's a load of Indian folks going out for the full English. You know, and they go into an English restaurant and they go, how fucking hot is that? And give us, what, 20 Yorkshire puddings? It's the same way people order pompidou.
Yeah.
It's about kind of getting out of that pissed on a Friday night mentality and eating the foods of the areas. And it's like anything. I mean, India's a huge country, Dave. Huge country. They have regional specialities, they have regional flavours. When you're looking at that sort of geographical mass, what's seasonal on one side of the country is not going to be seasonal. And again, not a great deal of arable farming, so a lot of Indian dishes tend to be, that may be burning, I've been talking too long. So the garlic naan's fine.
Peshwari fuck.
Half the Peshwari's fine.
I'll eat that. I'll eat that.
There we
Really
go.
half it.
I'll eat that.
So we've got a naan bread. Yeah. So a lot of traditional vegetarian or traditional Indian dishes are based on vegetables and pulses. You'll get lots of dals and lentil dishes and cauliflower, things that we can grow, things that are, things like meat in every dish. It's very much a Western.
Religion's a vegan, aren't they?
Yeah, so there's a lot of veganism. So it's all about paneer, which is a type of cheese. There's a lot of goat curries, lamb, smaller animals, beef and pork is kind of, again, these are things that are done for Europe and the UK market predominantly. So we are pretty much there with our korma. We have our naan bread prepared. Any questions or comments before we start to wind up?
No.
I'm very quiet today.
It was like that last week.
So next week is obviously a birthday show. We have been doing this nonsense for a year now.
It's hard to believe that's a year we've been in lockdown, isn't it?
So a year, well, we've actually been in lockdown a little bit longer than a year, but we started doing the shows just after lockdown started, so we're a little bit behind with that.
What gives the korma that colour? See the yellowy colour?
That'll be the turmeric. Turmeric?
I was watching.
We covered that earlier.
If you take turmeric, just put in water, it's so good for you. It must taste horrible, but
If you take turmeric on a steak and also put it in rum, it is an exceptional dish. Put our garlic naan to one side. We're going to take a little bit of our lightly overly crisped naan bread. Try now. It shows you how much I don't like this frying naan. I can't even cook it. And there we go, guys. That will be no coriander chicken
Sharon,
korma.
if you don't want to try this one, I'll try it for
it's
you.
okay. Trace, I'll take one from the team.
So we're going to let Nibbles get the
sexy shots.
sexy shots. So,
What is your name?
so guys, if you're interested here, have you enjoyed the change in format? Has having a guest here working as your, what would you say there, what the audience's avatar, the voice of the audience? Let us know what you thought of the change of the format. If you have any questions with the food we've cooked today, please let us know. Do you want to play the shop bumper once more? Yeah, so as I said, next week is our 1 year birthday. We've been doing the live shows for a year now. We went from an iPad and an iPhone to buying enough kit to possibly. We could probably cover for Sky Sports now and some sports. Have you seen some of the shit they're putting on Sky Sports now? Those are not sports. Those are things that people are doing that somebody has put a camera in front of. Yeah, and we will start competitive cooking from the Pirate King Arena. Production values will be a lot fucking better. So, one last story. I applied, or tried to apply for MasterChef. Because I watch MasterChef, and it makes me angry because the people on it can't cook. So I tried to apply. And because 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when I went from one business to another, I spent a couple of years going, what else can I do that I can earn money? I can cook. So I did work in professional kitchens for a couple of years. Not doing anything tremendously exciting. Sorry if you're watching, Chris. Chris was my boss when I worked in the kitchen. I made sushi for a couple of years. One type of food. It was very much a kitchen manager job more than a chef job. But anyway, so I went to apply for MasterChef. And I'd have you in the last 5 years worked in a special kitchen? No. Say, have you ever earned a living working in the catering trade? Now, my wife, who I love dearly, who has many, many skills, was a waitress. My wife is not allowed to enter MasterChef because she's worked in the catering trade. She's a waitress. But she was young and impressionable. You're working as a waitress, no. So I'm not allowed to enter MasterChef.
Oh my God.
But
Sorry.
if you can keep your orgasm till we're all ready.
No.
So
Can I say the last time I seen her that happy was our wedding night?
huh? Well, that night you should put some hot inside her. You're great. So I then applied for MasterChef the
Oh, I'm
professionals.
not happy.
There's all these questions about where are you working and what is your professional CD. So if anybody is watching this from the people at MasterChef, I dare you to put me on MasterChef the professionals. Because I reckon I have watched that as well. Half of those fuckers can't cook and they do it for a living. Right? I'm not a chef. I'm a tinkerer of things. I'm a consultant. Right? I don't do this every day. I do this on a Saturday. I want to enter MasterChef because I think I can cook. I think it'll be a laugh. I've seen some of the people when they get to the final, they're fairly decent. Some of the guys in the earlier rounds are burning water. You know, how the fuck they made it through some sort of heat, I don't know. I've watched MasterChef Professionals. The thing about MasterChef Professionals that bugs me is not only have other chefs been beaten in the non-televised stuff to get them on TV, when they destroy those vegetables and destroy those proteins, because to be honest, there's a lot of ingredients there that are probably better served just being put straight in the bin. Don't let them fuck about with them. Just put them straight in the bin. Easier journey for the ingredients. I dare you, put me on MasterChef. Whether it's MasterChef for Professionals because I have a YouTube channel, or put me on the amateurs because I'm an engineer. I fucking dare you. Anyway, next week,
Yes.
1 year anniversary, 1 year birthday party. So we're going to have a party, we're going to have another guest sitting in the chair. Well, Mark Ferguson, remember Mark was on last year, he was shite.
Very good.
We're going to do some more butchery. We've done some butchery last week when we desecrated some chickens. Next week we're going to desecrate a lamb.
A full one?
No, kind of most of a lamb.
Yeah.
You know, if a kind of lamb was walking past and you took a swing at it with an axe, that bit.
Okay.
So there'll be a lamb leg and lamb chops and carron of lamb and all that. Oh, I just spoiled the birthday party. Delicious. There was a bit of feedback from one of our vegetarian viewers who felt that lamb was an inappropriate dish. I wasn't quite, this was before we done the chicken special, so I wasn't quite sure if any chickens were reclassified as flora as opposed to fauna. So the chickens are gone. At the end of the day, somebody else killed the lamb. I'm just cooking it. Don't blame me. Don't blame the ruggedly handsome chef.
Already. There's no point in wasting it.
Yeah, so let's make some delicious stuff. So if you have a problem with dead lambs, you probably need to talk to somebody. It's not me. I just cook shit on a Saturday. You know, get some professional help. Do you still hear the lambs, Clarice? So yeah, next week birthday party. We may have a cake, we may not. It depends how fast it can be. We will be cooking a lot of lamb. We will have a guest. Please share the show. We are now coming out of lockdown, so I know you guys are forced to watch me, and I do appreciate that. I need to grow this channel, keep it going. So like, share, all that usual YouTube push. I know everybody said likes things. Please share the things you've liked. That'd be great. If you know someone who enjoyed this, share it with them. The shop is open. We've done do the bumper for the shop. Do the bumper. I love the bumper. Sniff my bum, pretty goodness. Go to the shop. Hoodies, t-shirts with the same design. The books, starting with 3 copies of the book left. Next week we are doing 3 very special giveaways. So if you want to be in for a chance of winning that, tune in next week. And that's kind of it. Thank you so much to my guest.
Thank you so much.
You may continue your orgasm now. How was the chicken corner for you?
I'm just waiting till we go off camera so I can snaffle the rest of it
Start
down.
rubbing it on you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's more than anybody needs to see of that. So thank you so much to my guest. It's great having somebody and actually doing the show the way it was meant to be done.
Thank you.
Thank you to the green room who have drank all my wine and she hasn't urinated on herself yet, so that's a bonus.
Yeah.
Hello, this is back.
I've been tasting your wine, Peter.
It's sampling it for quality
Yes.
purposes. And always thanks to Nibbles who runs the cameras and the production suite to make all this shit happen. So, with that, adieu. You can say that as anti-Semitic? No, that's a different thing. Right, adieu. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you next week. It's our birthday. So please join us and hit. I can do this now because we fixed some shit. Hit my music.